Hello and welcome to the first of 4 videos. I'm Kevin. I'm a producer, engineer, and guitar player for Direct Divide, a cinematic rock project out of Monterey, California. This video series is designed to take you behind the scenes of all the different layers, microphones, and things that go into making a modern rock record for one of our songs off of our 2015 EP called Own Your Ocean. So this song's called Tide is Rising. It's a ambient song in the beginning, kicks into a cool bridge, finishes out really strong. Calling this series Mixing in Moccasins because I got my moccasins on. And we're in Carmel Valley, California, where we recorded a lot of the record and mixed this song. So it's a really cool kind of destination, woodsy recording studio. And I hope you enjoy this video. It's going to be a lot of fun. So mixing is the process that you take all the mics and then you put them all the stuff together and you add all the effects and things like that. It's a very subjective thing, so there's really no right or wrong way to do it. So be happy to hear all of your feedback and what you liked and what you didn't like. I think it's an interesting process, and this is just the way that I do it based off of things I've learned over time and what worked for me. So the rig that we're working with is a Focusrite 1820 audio interface. So that's what talks to the computer, and it has 8 outputs of analog outputs. So in my Pro Tools session, I'm sending out all the different instruments via these 8 outputs. That's going into this box here called the Dangerous D box. And this is outboard equipment, so it's just a physical rack that I take with me. And this D box is not just a very high quality headphone amp and a monitor controller, but it has analog summing built into it. So it takes those 8 outputs, sums them down into 2, and it gives me kind of an analog flavor and vibe that makes my mix sound pretty cool. So let's jump right into the mix here. I will just kind of go through all the different stuff. Hopefully it's not too long-winded and too overly technical. Try to keep it fun. So let's check it out. All right, so the song starts out here in this Pro Tools 12 session. I have, a drum set, bass guitar, other percussion stuff, and piano and synthesizer stuff. There's the rhythm section of the song is 59 tracks of stuff. So a lot of stuff to work with. We used a Ludwig Classic Maple drum set with a rack and a floor tom. We recorded at Expression College in Emeryville, California. Nice high wood ceilings, wood flooring, really big drum sound. Song starts out with this really cool ocean effects noise. And what you're hearing is the exact output of the Pro Tools session just being recorded right into the camera. So it starts out with this cool oceany stuff. Kick drum comes in. This is the kick in mic. It's a Sennheiser 602. A little bit of EQ, gating, notch EQ, a little bit of a Neve style EQ, some compression, and then I have this automated kick drum at the beginning of the song to get more and more full in the high frequencies it comes. This is, see this knob here. Now you hear the high end is there. So that's part of the kick drum sound. There is a kick PZM. This is a pressure zone microphone that picks up the pressure of the kick, just gets placed right into the kick drum. It has a lot of high end attack to it. Combine that with a Yamaha sub kick, which just gets all of the super low frequencies. You probably won't hear it if you're on laptop speakers, but I have everything below 67 hertz is the only thing I hear, so it's really subsonic stuff. On top of that, I have kick samples. They're reinforcements of the clean kick drum sound, so the actual one that we got in the studio, combined with a couple other kick drums that I've gotten over time. And then on top of that, there's a SPL. This is a SPL Transient Designer. What I did with that is it's this box that I take all of the sustain out and then add in a little bit of attack, and it gives me kind of the more snappy. So these 5 microphones here is what really makes the sound of the kick drum. And all those put together here is what this sounds like. Pretty cool. I have some of those mics being sent to a LFE, low frequency effect bus. Just gives me a clean 60 hertz of clean bass just to bring back in, just to give it some oomph. And a little bit of reverb for the ambient tracks, just a touch. For the ambient sections to make it more clear or more compressed or dry. in certain sections of the song. So here's my snare drum. I've got snare top 1, which is a 57. Snare top 2, it's a Telefunken M80. Snare bottom is a little Pro 37. And then a clean snare sample of that set. So here's the kick and snare. Being sent to reverbs. And then you add in the SPL, which is the nice snappy. So I'm sending these two out to 2 reverbs. What I like to do with my reverb, I picked this trick up a while ago, is have one reverb that's being sent to, that is just like kind of the depth of the snare drum. So it's kind of got a medium release on it, and it's more of a fatness like type of plate thing. And then I would want to get like the effect of the reverb as well, so more of the big, you know, the sound of a church reverb. So I combine the two to get kind of best of both worlds. And you combine those close mics with the overhead mic, which is kind of the basis of what drums sound like. And here's overheads. I take all the bass out of my overheads because I have enough kick mics to work with. Have a little bit of top end added to my overheads, API compression barely hitting, and some saturation just to add a little bit of kind of vibe and character to it. So here's all the close mics. I've got racks, floors, hi-hat mics. I have this cool reamp of the whole drum set. Adds a little bit of kind of vibe to it. And here's the rest of it. And if you notice here, there's some really cool kind of backwardsy effect stuff. So you take this here, and this is the kind of stuff I like to throw in my mix, just to add some fun kind of effects. That kind of stuff's really cool. And then really what makes a rock record is taking 2 mics in the room and just crushing the crap out of them with the distressor on the way in, and even further just completely crushing the rooms. And that's really what makes a rock record, is that stuff right there. So that's my room. The entire drum set is being sent to a parallel compression bus, 2500 API. I've got a little bit of ambience for my drums just to add some vibe, and the whole thing is being run into one subgroup with a Kramer tape compressor harmonic generator. So it kind of just glues everything together. And here's what the drum set sounds like in the bridge of the song, which is really cool. Has that kind of pumping sound going on with those rooms. So on top of that, we added some stuff to really kind of make it more cinematic. And this being a cinematic rock band, we added some toms and some other layers of percussion drums here. And then some snares. Let's add in the rest of the drums. A little bit of tambourine, other compression stuff. Pretty sweet. So that's my drum set. Really fun. So the bass guitar, go over to the bass here. We had a friend named Corey play bass for us. Really awesome bass player. He was playing an Ibanez 6-string bass. Got some EQ, some bumps, some cuts, some ducking that's sidechained to the kick drum to make it work with the kick a little bit better. Notch here, this fatter thing, that's pretty fun. This Crystal Algae plugin is one of my favorites. It's a mono in, stereo out, and you can kind of change the settings a little bit. It's pretty fun. And then a bass rider, which is an auto tracker automator. So here's what the bass sounds like. Blend that in with the drum kit. Pretty cool. So we had a friend named Dashel who's played on all of our stuff, piano work. He's a really great really great piano player. He had him play on a Steinway grand piano at Expression College, stereo lid, Neumann mics on the lid, and then a couple room mics. Bring the bass back in, and then here's the drums back in as well. And then to kind of add a little bit of the, the other flavor, electronic flavor, use this Moog Sub 37, which is this dude right here. Added a little bit of that in to it as well. And some accents, some rhythmical accents, which are really cool. Added some pads, ethereal pads. And some organ. Let's make this the bass. Other pads. There's 4 sets of pads, organ and choir. So this is the verse section of the song. And later in the song is the bridge. This Moog filter sweep's cool. So all the extra layers of what you would. That's the rhythm section of the song. Join me next time for the second half of this video. We're going to go through all the guitar work, all of the string section, the vocals, distorted guitars, and a couple of the other layers that go into making this song. So join me for part 2, and join me in the next couple of weeks for the other one we'll do, which is the song, the single off of the record called 1,000 Years. And we'll check you soon.